Good morning. It's 6:30 in the morning here in the UK, and I'm just back from the gym, which is a sentence I never thought I would say. But anyway, so I just thought it might be useful for you guys because there's so much, isn't there, in the media about once you reach perimenopause, women over 50 lose like 20% of their bone mass and muscle mass or whatever it is. And it's really important to get to the gym and be doing strength training and eat loads of protein and all that. But the thing is, in order to do these things, you have to be able to form the habit that allows you to do it. And when you're neurodivergent, that can be tricky. So I really felt the need to do it. So first of all, I guess the very first thing that I needed in order to build this habit was enough love for myself to think, shit, I don't want to break a hip and then be hobbling around. I'm 54 now, and I feel like I'm only just starting my life in many ways. I've only just built up enough confidence and self-esteem and all that over the last sort of 10 years. And now, over the last 6 months, I'm suddenly sort of child-free. So it feels like the beginning of something, and I want to be well enough for it. So I realized I had to, build a gym habit. And I asked people what they do. And there's a lot of people going, oh, well, I get up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym and, I fit it in then. Now, I was kind of, I was resistant to this 5 a.m. lark, and I still am, basically, because for me, it's a capitalist lie. It's basically saying, oh, you want to do all this wellness stuff. You want to like keep fit and all that. Yeah, you should keep fit actually, because that means you'll have less sick days. And if it manages your stress, great, because you'll have less sick days doing that. So yeah, you should be keeping yourself fit, but don't be doing it in working hours. We still need you to work 10 hours a day at this crappily paid job. So you're just going to have to do it outside of work hours. What? Oh, you're running a home. Oh, you've got kids. Oh, well, you're just going to have to get up at 5 a.m. then, aren't you? So, and I'm sure you can be very productive at 5 a.m., but I would like a world personally where you can be productive in a work sense during working hours. How about that radical idea? Anyway, enough about the politics. The thing was, at the time, I wasn't sleeping that well. I know we all get some of that in perimenopause and things. And I would kind of go to bed I would fall asleep at say 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then I'd wake up. I'd do that classic being awake at 4 a.m. thing, like, oh, the whole world is falling apart and I'm crap and I'm going to fail and I'm going to die in a ditch, blah, 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 right? All that thing. So, okay, so I thought, right, actually, it might work for me. So I thought, right, I'm going to need to create the space for it first, so I'll start getting up earlier. So I started trying to get up at 6 and just go for a walk. Like, I'm going to get used to getting up early first and just do something, and then I'll start going to the gym afterwards. So I started doing that. Lasted about 3 days, and I started doing it in winter, which probably wasn't a good idea because it was obviously dark at 6 a.m. and raining and cold. And after a few days, my body just went, "Get that! We're not doing this. No, we need to be sleeping." So I did two things separately and then brought them together. So this is just trial and error, but essentially I realized that I needed to create the habit of going to the gym at a much more reasonable time of day first, so that my body understood the benefits it would give. And even going for a workout, I was getting PDA then. It was like, pathological demand avoidance. It was like, no, don't you tell me to go and hurt myself for half an hour in the gym. So first of all, the challenge was to literally just show up at the gym. Also, gyms are a bit of a sort of, there's a lot of noises going on, a lot of random smells, there's a lot of strange people around, there's a lot of people just sweating and splattering it everywhere. And just, yeah, it wasn't like my favorite place. So I practiced just turning up at the gym and literally just walking on the treadmill for 10 minutes and then going. That's all I did. And then I got up to 15 minutes quite quickly. And at 15 minutes, my dopamine would kick in, and I'd feel, oh yeah, I'm getting this. Oh yeah, I like this. Yeah. Look at me, I'm a total gym bunny. Um, and I would give myself that message: I'm a gym bunny. I'm a gym bunny. Because for me personally, you give yourself your own affirmations, but for me personally, gym bunny means those sort of 1980s sort of in their tight leotards, like, and peppy hair, and kind of like, oh yeah, and just kind of, I have got an inner gym bunny, I'm sure. So yeah, she wanted to come out. So I got used to going to the gym for short periods of time and feeling good about it. And I remember even saying to myself, I just come here to get high, actually. So there was that, and I wasn't really doing that much, and I'm still not really doing that much. I basically just go, because again, I've got to be careful that the session isn't too long, otherwise I'll start getting bored of it. So I basically go and I do 15 minutes on the treadmill, 10 minutes on the steppery thing, which absolutely kills my butt and thighs. So that kind of works out the bottom half. On the treadmill, I'm still just walking, but I'm walking very fast, about 6 miles an hour. And you can do the incline thing, and so and I've built that up, but within the time. So I'm kind of doing a faster speed and more of an incline, but trying not to do more time, because, as I say, if I get bored, I just won't do it. So I do like 15 minutes of that, and 5 minutes on the stepper again, just gradually increasing the hardness of it. And then every other day I do an additional 15 minutes of arm weights, because I'm really weak around here. But I have hypermobility, which is a sort of comorbidity of neurodivergence. So I have to be very careful to just build these up quite gently, otherwise I get really bad neck pain and frozen shoulder and all that. So that's the kind of the routine I've built. And then for the getting up early thing, I just stumbled upon respecting my body and starting to just wake up when it got light. So through January and February and March, I just kept looking at the weather forecast, like, what the sunrise times were in my area. And I just started setting my light, and that's like a few minutes at a time earlier over the days. And that seemed to work. And I didn't always get out of bed, but I then started getting out of bed, and I'd just sit and read. And then I started getting out of bed, and because it was light, because the birds were singing, I was drawn outdoors. So I went out for a walk, and then it didn't take too long after that to go for a walk to the gym, which fortunately is literally 5 minutes walk away for me. And I had to do things like reducing choice. So I had like a gym drawer. Well, I have a gym drawer now. So that's got, in that one drawer, it's got my socks, my underwear, like sports bras and things, t-shirts, leggings, everything I need. So in the morning, I only have to open one drawer and I can get everything out and put it on. So I don't have to think. All of my gym stuff is there. I don't have to look around for stuff. So that really helps. And I make sure that my headphones are always charged up. And I've always got bottles of water in the fridge. And so I've made the routine as simple as possible. I have like a single door key that I just put in my pocket of my leggings and a tissue. And so I can just get ready in 5 minutes and go, kind of thing, before I talk myself out of it. And no, I'm really liking it. And I usually get to the gym for about, because I wake up at 5 and do my gratitude. And so I'm probably out of bed for 5:30, at the gym for, say, 5:45. And then I'm back for about 6:15, 6:30. And as I'm walking back, you can see the low sun. And it's just, it's really nice. And yeah, the getting up early a bit, because I've incrementally got up a bit early, a bit earlier, a bit earlier. So I'm stopping at 5 now. It's plenty early. But it has also, fortunately, solved the problem of waking up in the middle of the night. So that's amazing for me, because I've been waking up between 3 and 4 and lying awake for about an hour, and unless I put like a meditation on or something, and even that doesn't work sometimes. And for some reason, your cortisol levels are really high. You tend to get kind of weird anxiety and sort of catastrophizing thoughts and things. So I'm now able to sleep through. So my screen, whatever screen I'm looking at, goes black and white at 10 o'clock at night, and I put on a yoga nidra meditation, and I fall asleep really quickly, and then I wake up just a few minutes before, a few moments before my alarm goes off at 5. So I'm like getting 7 hours of sleep, uninterrupted sleep. It's fantastic. And yeah, I love going to the gym in the morning now. I love the dopamine. I love the high. I love the blood circulating and everything. And I love the sort of smug feeling of like, great, I've done at least half my steps. I've looked after my body. I've done all that shit. That's taken care of. And I can sort of sit down to breakfast and relax. So basically the point of this is small incremental changes. I don't know if you've seen this book. It's going to be backwards, isn't it? Sorry. But it's Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've read it a couple of times now because obviously I read about it the first time and then forgot everything in it. But the main gist of it is atomic meaning tiny, like atom by atom change, and making tiny little changes bit by bit. So for instance, in my gym habit, I was just showing up there first. It was like, let's just create a space of time where I walk to the gym, go in the gym, come out of the gym, go back home. Because it's all the stuff around it, like, oh, have I been to the loo beforehand? And what if there's a weird man in there, and then coming back, it's like, well, now I've got to shower and wash my hair, and that's like an extra half hour or so that I've got to build into this routine, and all that kind of thing. So just creating the space for it to happen first, and then starting to do some dopamine inducing stuff, which of course exercise does, dopamine, endorphins, things like that. So that your body buys into it, so that your unconscious mind buys into it and goes, hey, this feels good. Yeah, I'm liking this, so that it feels like fun. And I'm still not probably working super hard. I'm not lifting massive weights and things at the moment. I have started doing classes, so I'm doing one class a week now from 6:30 till 7, and that's kind of press ups and squats and stuff. So I'm starting to get into it, but I have realised, having spent years of doing, going for it and then burning out and not being able to do it at all. So many wasted gym memberships. I wonder how much I've spent over the years. But the small incremental, just adding a bit more and a bit more. I'm certainly getting all the good chemicals, and I am now starting to build my body strength. And I've put on so much weight. I was 15 stone at the beginning of this year, so I'm now 14 and a half stone. But I've basically lost that in the last 6 weeks when I've been doing this gym habit. So at my level of unfitness, just doing 8,000 steps a day, going to the gym every morning, and walking on an incline and doing the stepper and stuff, that's enough to see really good results. So, and I will just gradually feed more into that. But yeah, so buy in from your body and small little changes, and and kind of creating the space for something first, and then shifting it to where you want it to be. I hope that's useful. I hope if you're trying to build a gym habit, you find it's got to be something that you get buy-in from. Your unconscious mind, your PDA, it's got to see the benefits. So yeah, for me, it was like, well, I'm a gym bunny, and I just go to the gym to get high, kind of thing. It's so much more of a sort of fun narrative, fun reason to go to the gym, and I get to listen to, I've obviously got like a playlist, all the great music that I love to listen to, techno and all that. It's a much more fun narrative than, I know that, I will break a hip if I don't, do my strength training and things. So get buy-in, find a way to make it feel good, and just start by literally showing up first, and then just gradually build more bits in. For me, keeping it short helps so that I don't get bored. For you, it might be different. It might be changing it up, doing a different thing each day. For me, I need the routine. I think that, my autism's kind of dominating that. But yeah, play with what you do in that slot, but create the slot first. Yeah, and then as for the getting up early, I still think it's a capitalist lie. But for me personally, it has solved my waking up in the night sleep issues, and it has meant the point of it for me is not to be productive per se. The point of getting up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym for me is that as I start my day, I am in a good state of mind because I've got the dopamine from going to the gym and the endorphins and all that. My focus is good. My anxiety is low. I don't really have anxiety per se, but I know a lot of people get it, but I feel so because I don't get anxiety, what is it? Just super calm. I do feel a bit stoned. It's really quite nice. So I have good focus. I feel chill, I think is what I want to say. And I feel, open. I feel creative. Ideas come to me. I sometimes have to like stop on the treadmill and like record an idea for a blog or something. So I'm at my best, and I'm setting myself up. I go and then eat, eggs for breakfast and stuff, and I'm setting myself up for the day. And I'll just be as productive as I happen to be that day, because with the best will in the world, my brain works in the way it works, and sometimes I can't just go perform. It's just like, no, I'm not doing that today. But I know that I've taken time to set myself up, um, to run my business, and most importantly to be out there helping people, in the best way I can each day. So yeah, play with that, see how that works. But yeah, have a good day.